Hey, welcome to News Talk. Uh, my name is Romeo Gill, and I'm broadcasting here from Oslo, Norway, from my boat. It's been a while since I broadcasted last time, but I think right now I got a lot of questions, so I figured out that I want to talk about what's happening in the world today, um, in Ukraine, and in and more we're gonna spend the time talking about what's happening in Gaza, because there's a lot of questions out there. What's really happening, and who is winning, who is losing, and who is gaining on all the killings. So there's a lot of questions to go through, and uh, so I'm not an English talking by native, so mm, be aware with my English. So it's my second language. So that said, what since I'm a I'm a native Indian who lives in Norway. Um, I was very disappointed uh, about India's lack of action when it comes to the conflict in Gaza. Neutrality is a just to have a neutral stand. That's that's okay. A lot of countries do that. Well, maybe they have some dealings going on somehow. But in India's case, it's um it's a little bit shocking because I know that India and Israel have a long relationship together. They're strong partners. They're allies in Israel have helped out India many times in the Mumbai attack, the terrorist attack in Mumbai happened. Israeli intelligence, even in Kashmir, when there are some terrorists infiltrated from Pakistan uh, in the Kargil war. Even then, the Israelis have been helping out India. So India and Israel has a lot of military cooperation together. But on the other hand, India is also one of the big want to be the big player in the world. If you want to be a big one of the fourth big players, you're China, you're Russia, you're United States, and India. Well, you keep silence when children are dying. That's a that's a mind-boggling, I think, because in a way, I mean that India is lack India want to be a power, but they still don't have this. They don't have the balls yet, because what, however, your relationship with Israel, it shouldn't affect you to go out strongly against when there's a when you see the children and women, the hospitals are bombed and they have been yeah, it's like and the Palestinians have been collectively punished. I will go. I will come back to that thing, the collective. It's like right now, is every news outlets, as everybody is talking about the collective punishment that Israel is giving the Palestine, and everybody's outraged, and except those who still support Israel to do to keep doing what they're doing. Uh, but the thing this collective punishment is nothing new. That is the way the West have 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 um, that's their strategy. That's a collective punishment. We don't have to go a long time back when the Madam Albright, Foreign Secretary for the United States, when she was asked, "Is it worth? Is this this war in Iraq is it worth that 500,000 kids are gonna die of this embargo? About it's a collective. That's a collective, and she said, "Yeah, it's worth it." So that is this concept. The collective punishment is the Western way to wage war. Now that I've been doing from in yeah in every time in Vietnam and now lately in Iraq. The first 2 weeks, United States they bombed the shit out of Baghdad. I think the official numbers and unofficial numbers, but I think the official number is like 26,000 civilian dead in the Baghdad in first 3 weeks. So what do you call that? A collective punishment. And for what? That's another story. So there's that the Israel is bombing the shit out of Gaza. Is not a new thing. And since I'm living in Norway, I see a lot of people here in Norway that they're out demonstrating for Palestine. But this is not the first time people are going out in the street to support Palestine here in Norway or in the West generally. But there's a gap between the public and the politicians. So because there's been nearly 30 years with a negotiation with Palestine to have a two-state solution. But the thing is, even the Oslo deal here, back in the 90s, with Bill Clinton and Yasser Arafat and all that stuff. The thing is, why didn't that deal go through? Because they had the same. The end was that Israel had the last say, and they could amend it as they wanted. So that's why it didn't go through. That's why always Israel so we didn't negotiate on some deal, but Israel had the last say, and then you know that it's not going to be two-state solution. So these people, and in a way, the West, the Norwegian government, the Western governments, they have known it all along. And the US, of course, there was never ever a plan to make two-state solution. Because if it was, it should have been. I think they put up and managed it. At least we have a lot of new countries that are popping up here and there. So it should not be but that was never intention. Intention was just to fool the world. You go marching in the street for Palestine, but you know the politicians, they play a dirty game with the public, and they've done it. They've done it since '67. So that's the thing, and all this outrage about the collective punishment. This is not the first time it's happening, and West is always doing it. And you see the politicians like Obama. Yeah, he's back. He's back. Yeah, he's good president, and he's telling, if this bombing has to stop and this and that, and he said that most kids there was in the bombing in Gaza there's a hospital, the kids, so he feels so. But this guy, Obama, he killed more people than the Bush Jr. And he break up them, and he talked about the million people refugees from Palestine, and he's blaming the Netanyahu and Israel. But the thing is, what did he do? He totally destroyed Libya, and there's a slave state now where they sell people for money, and now you have and then you have Syria, as Obama forgot Syria, where millions of people he was had to flee the country, and he funded that, and he was the guy who funded ISIS. He used ISIS to break down Assad. But thank God the Russians they come and they save the country. So these guys, these politicians who speak out like they're full. They're the worst of the worst. But time are changing. So go back to India. Why I'm so the world is not only I am disappointed. I believe the whole global South is deeply disappointed at India. As a BRIC country, as a member of BRIC country, as a founder of BRIC country with Russia, and Russia and China and India they was supposed to lead this new world order, the unipolar world. Everybody has to have a say. And the thing is, South Africa, they went out pretty hard because they have lived through apartheid system, and Israel have an apartheid system. So they went out and they closed the Israel embassy and so on. And what the West do when they are so, if you go back for India, why I'm so disappointed? Because when the Indian freedom movement, they also had some terrorist attack, and they do it because you want freedom. You want freedom, you have to fight it. You had to fight it to get it from the British. They was not giving it to you. And so what did the British do? There's two big incidents. Was 1857, the first uprising, and to break the uprising in India, to break it down, to totally collapse, there was a kangaroo. They went from village to village and totally destroyed. Within 6 or 7 months, they killed 1 million Indians in 1857. That was when the East Company, the rule went from the East Company, Northeast, from the East Company to the British rule, the British king, and then it became British Raj. And the other one was that India was promised to help and to get their freedom if they helped the British to win the First World War. Even Churchill, he said after the World War, he said that if the Indian was not there, we wouldn't have won the war. And because that was true, because there was 3 times more Indian soldiers fighting for Britain than the British themselves. But so in 1919, supposed to India was going to be a free country and get the independence. So when the British when they didn't do it, so India, they striked and they said they promised us, why don't you give us? So they did the same thing in the massacre of Amritsar. They doubled it down. They massacred innocent women, children, men in a stadium. About 1,500, 2,000 people died, and totally massacred. without weapons, no, just to tell that no, we're not going. You think you know freedom? Don't ever think about getting freedom. And the same. Why I'm so disappointed about India is the same thing. What Netanyahu is saying. The, here is the this thing is this the words he's using. The narrative is very important. He said because they say they're gonna bury this Hamas. They're gonna bury the Hamas organization. They're gonna totally destroy it till so they can't be uprising again. That's the same thing the British did 1857 towards India. They killed 1 million people during 6 months, and in 1919 doubled down again with a massacre in the homicide, and so on. And Israel is doing the same thing to the Palestinians, and that's why I'm shocked. Whatever relationship they have with Israel, if they want to play on the big in the world on the big arena, they have to get some more balls, because actually that it's India was like, if you this new world order, a unipolar world, the global south, because global south is the first time in the history the global south is able to speak out against the Western war machine that's been rolling around the world. So this is the first time Africa, from the continent, from the Middle East, from South Asia, people speaking out against Israel, against the United States. How? And there must be like, and that freedom, because how can they do it? Because there are two other countries like Russia and China. They're pushing for everyone. But where is India? So, I don't know. It's totally silent from India, and this because Israel's relationship to India. But they should know their own history. When people have lost their country, somebody took the country from them, and of course they're gonna fight to get it back. And that's the thing is, so India should know better. So their absence is a mind-boggling, I think. And it's, I don't know, it's gonna be, and the world is taking notes on that. So and the global south is depending on India, because India and global south is a good relationship in Latin America, in South America, in African countries. There's a lot of trade, a lot of India's helping out, but in this, they have no bold to speak out. Speak out to ask for a ceasefire. When you see that a country is collectively bombing, punishing a country, a people. So it's if you go back to the Iraq War, okay, and it's like, okay, there was no other country that could speak out that time. Russia was weak, China was still not that, India was weak, so the United States could do whatever they want. They had a plan. They're going to and the same thing. But eventually, the world should be pretty thankful that Russia have stopped them and put. So that's and how this conflict in Palestinian conflict is linked to what's happening in Ukraine. Is the only thing is that there is a hope now. There's a hope in the Middle East, among the countries in Saudi Arabia, Kingdom there, in Qatar. There's a hope because before they have to just to listen to the United States, whatever this president says. Not like a monopoly on the what to do in the Middle East. Right now, okay, in Syria, why they have United States have us forces in Syria? Why they occupying some few land in Syria? Because they can, by power. Nobody asked them to be there. Iraqis, them in the parliament said, we want the Americans out, but the Americans said no, we are not going. It's our security. So, so why are they there? Yeah, to steal the oil, of course, but also to make. If they want the conflict with Iran, yeah, they can always blame Iran on their bombing. There is their American outpost up in the oil field up there in Syria and Iraq, and then you have a pretext to take a revenge. So, but this time, let's go back to Gaza, to the demonstration here in Norway. If you know, these politicians, these Western politicians, they have fooled the people who've been marching there for the last 30 years. They fooled them because there was never attention to make two-state solution. So the question is, like Norway, what kind of what they have to say? They do what the West do, what the US say they have to do. And the small countries like Norway, they're also they're more willing than maybe other countries to go to bomb Libya, to go to in Iraq. So if America ask Norway to do something, because as a Kennedy said, the President Kennedy, the candidate Robert Jr. He said Israel is like having a aircraft carrier in Middle East. He looked at Israel as an aircraft carrier, American aircraft carrier in the Middle East, where they can have their security, they can listen in to and feel the situation. And if you think about the Israel as your aircraft carrier, the last thing you will do to seek your own aircraft carrier. So, in that regard, America, Norway, these other countries, they have nothing to say because they have no say in the situation. But that has been for 30 years. But now you have to the Israel, the Palestine, and the Middle East. Who are they putting their faith in to? So there can be a solution. So Israel have to get in to be agree. They have no more choice. Who are the Middle East? Who are the Palestine? Eventually, who gonna save them? The West? No. It's gonna be the guy. The Norwegian press is telling for the last 10 years that he's dying every month. Sometimes with a cancer, sometimes with a limb, somebody with a heart attack. Yeah, of course, it's Russia. Russia and China's gonna be. They're putting the trust in Russia and China, who gonna solve that 30 years problem. Because America, US, and the West, they are fooled. They have fooled the people for a long time now. As Bob Marley said, you fool the people all the time. And so that's why I'm so disappointed in India in this historical time that they was not able to speak out. It's like maybe that's maybe the Indian culture. I don't know. Indian culture is like if there are some in somebody in the family has done something wrong, so you keep it quiet about it. You try to protect it, so you don't come out in the society. So it's like India and Israel have a relationship. It's a family, but Israel is doing this is goddamn horrible things to other people. But still, they don't want to say. They try to protect, quiet it down. But if you want to be the one of the big power in the future, then you have to speak out when the outrage is coming. Is somebody doing the outrage? Even if is your friend, that's your duty. So that should be the difference between this from the to multipolar world, from a unipolar world to multipolar world. Because like, and you see all these other countries, I say Ireland, speaking out because they also have a history with the British. And the Palestine, the West Bank and Gaza is, who divided, who wanted to, who created, who sponsored Hamas? That's Israel, because they want to play the divide the people, divide the people, and so Palestine is not the PLO. It was not one power. So they supported the Hamas. And Netanyahu has been the biggest supporter. He's through Qatar. He's been giving them money all the way up to 2014. So the nurturing. That's the way. That is also nothing new about it. USA, they nurtured Osama bin Laden. They nurtured IS. Yes, we killed this. They beheaded people in the Syria there, in Iraq, in the borderland there. They was sponsored with money and people, and they by United States and the West. So they that's so this new world, this multipolar world, then countries they don't speak, they don't tell the truth. No, they have they feel they have a right to speak the truth about IS and Al Qaeda and all stuff. Obama, he used Al Qaeda in Syria and created a portion out of it, ISIS. So then, the West, what is the West has been done? They did it in India too. The British did it in India too. They divided the Hindus and the Muslims. It's a Machiavelli over and over again, to rule, divide and rule. And this. So that's why when an Indian politician, especially Modi, he should know this West, they can do whatever they have been doing so much. It's just amazing what people forget. 1 million Iraqis killed, Afghanistan 20 years, Iraq, Syria, Libya, you name it. Yemen. And now, and Ukraine, 500,000 Ukrainians are dead. And they had the peace deal before the war started, and even after 1 month after the war started. They had a peace deal. But who said no? You can't take that deal. Who broke the deal before the war and after the conflict started? The West, U.S., British, and Norway, who was one of the biggest sponsors of Ukraine. But every bomb you're sending to Ukraine, yeah, you can tell that. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, you're sending Norwegian bombs to Ukraine to kill Russians, but the thing is that it's killing more Ukraine than Russians, because they're using. I just when will Ukraine wake up? Let's go back to Gaza again. These Jewish people is not a one entity, you know. Oh, all the Jews. No. So what are the Zionist people saying about other Jewish in Jerusalem? What are they saying about them? And so just a report. They're shouting. The Nazis should have burned you old guys in the gas ovens. To other Jewish who is not Zionist, because the Zionist, this Zionist ideology is very similar to Nazi, the Nazi culture. You know, like the ideology. It's the same. It's based on the same hate, God-given. We are the righteous people. You know, can do whatever we want. And same expression. The United States also have been playing those strollers. Yeah, like they're the winner. So this is Zionists. They are willing to kill other Jewish. What? So in reality, that has also been happening. So on the 7th of October, when this attack came, Israel forces killed a lot of other Israelis, because they don't want to have hostages. So they rather kill the Israelis so they don't become hostages. It's crazy, yeah. But I think so. And this time, when you're marching, when you go to people who march in European streets, to these European governments, which you have done for the last 30 years, which never led you anyway. Same, just last time, just was in 2014, 13, 14. Yeah, there was 7 Israelis. It was 7 Israelis killed in a Hamas attack, and Israel they killed over 1,000 for those 7 people. So it's happening all the time. I mean, marches there then, but now you have to, if you want Palestine to survive they will survive, to have their own country, then you should go and march with the Russian and Chinese flag in your hand, as well with the Palestine. You should march with the Russian and the Chinese flag in your hand, with the Palestine flag, if you really want Palestine to become a country. Because those are the countries who can do it, and I believe they will be. Now it will be, but not with these Western countries. Never. That's so. But would the West let you go with the Russian flag in your hand? Because they will eventually, those Russia and China will, whatever these Western countries says about these people. The freedom of express, I don't know. But that's a reality. These are two things. So all my prayers for the Palestinian people. And shame on India. Shame on not to speak out harder. They should be in the forefront for this massacre to stop. And they failed. They failed so deeply. And in the global south, this is not going to be forgotten. And that's a shame. And they want to be the country that fights for peace. And that's a so shame. Yeah. But that's when you don't have balls, you don't have balls. In the end, that was it. Thank you for now, and I hope I will try to be back again later. It's been many years since I spoken. So, and if you like it, say like and subscribe, as they say. But anyway, thank you again. Bye for now.